Hello, everyone. Bruce here with Zorro's Big Adventure. I'm just leaving the town of Parker, Arizona, on my way back to Quartzsite. Just did some grocery shopping. Um, I thought on the trip back that I would talk to you a bit about mental health and specifically mental health in retirement. At least my story and what I've been going through, and um, my plans for improving my situation, improving my overall mental health. So, start with my story a bit. I was um, in high school in the 70s, uh, did a lot of drugs, did a lot of alcohol, um, came from a very dysfunctional family. I have 5 siblings. Um, yeah, and the family situation was not the best, but I was the youngest, so I guess I probably came out of it. I don't know, maybe the best. Um, but anyway, I got into drugs and alcohol a lot. I have been sober now for 40 years as of August, and so I'm quite pleased with that. But along the way, I was also diagnosed with severe clinical depression, and started taking SSRIs probably, I'm just guessing, 20 years ago, maybe even longer ago than that. Um, and they've been a big help. You know, during that time, I have been done some break periods where I've been off of the SSRIs. I taper off, and during those tapered off periods, I really start having dark thoughts again and thoughts of self harm. So those periods are never very long. Yeah, I mean when I was working, my productivity went way down. It was. I'm not good when I'm not on the antidepressants. When I am on antidepressants, like I am now, there are two main ways that my depression manifests itself. And one is, I mean, I call it laziness, but just, lack of motivation, not knowing that I have things that I need to do or that I should be doing, and just not doing them. Lounging around on the recliner, watching TV. Um, yeah, so that's one of the main ways, and that's one of the reasons that I struggle with this YouTube channel is that, I have all kinds of ideas for videos and things like that, but when it comes to actually, writing scripts or recording videos, um, I mean, it's not just laziness. There's self-confidence and perfectionism and all of that that's kind of mixed up in it too. But anyway, it's taken me. I've had this YouTube channel in mind for 4 or 5 years, and I've just now made. I think I've got 6 videos out or something like that. So that's one of the main ways that depression manifests itself with me. The other is that, and this has been a problem. I don't know if it's necessarily all the depression, but it's also probably the way I grew up, and my family being the youngest. I was just, a lot of my time was as an only child with my mother because all of my older siblings were gone. Excuse me. Um, but that is really, really poor money management skills. Excuse me. Um, I have never been able to save money. I did not contribute to 401ks. Uh, Again, I don't know why. Anyway, it's brought me to now that I'm in retirement. I've been retired 6 months. My savings is depleted, and all I have is really my Social Security to live on, and that's that's an issue for another for another video. But yeah, so I know that I'm not alone. I mean, I know that there are a lot of people who are either solo RVers or solo in life, and who suffer from depression or other mental health, you know, I guess I'd call them diseases. I was going to call them syndromes or whatever you want to call them. So, my thought is that this is probably going to resonate with a few of you out there. It's really being solo RV in the RV. The depression and the lack of motivation and all of that has really kind of hampered my ability. I don't think it would be any better if I was not a nomad, if I was, in an cheap apartment somewhere in, some place that was affordable. I don't know where that is. But, yeah, I mean, I don't think that being stationary would be any better. My plan had been when I retired to find a part-time job that was similar to what I had been doing, which was project management in high tech. I was kind of led to believe, and I did believe that there were jobs out there that were part-time, so that I could retire and work on the YouTube channel, because the YouTube channel is kind of my long-term goal for side income. I have to get monetized first, but that'll come. So I just wasn't able to find a job. So that's how I found myself here 6 months after retirement, heading to Quartzsite, where the RV camping is free, and struggling on Social Security. I know that there are some things that I can do. One thing that has recently, so part of this Quartzsite thing is, Quartzsite is known, especially during the winter, well, mostly during the winter, as a kind of a mecca for nomad, RVers who come by the tens of thousands and camp in the desert. There's a big RV show in mid-January, and that attracts a lot of people. But a lot of people just come, and they have found community in Quartzsite. So when you wander around the various Bureau of Land Management (BLM) areas near Quartzsite where camping is allowed, you'll find lots of communities. And so this is my first year, and these communities, they come back year after year. The people, they have long-term, lifelong friends that they make, and communities that form in Quartzsite. And this is my first year in Quartzsite. I'm only here for a while. A lot of people will stay, as long as 6 months, until it gets too hot to stick around, because it's in the desert in Arizona, and around March it starts to get really hot. I have found, I kind of lucked into a community. There's, I don't know, there's quite a few people that are part of the community. There's there's, I don't know, 8 to 10 trailers or more, maybe a little more, that are currently camped in that one spot in Quartzsite that I'm part of. And so I'm getting to know people, and I know that is one thing that in the 5.5 years that I've been in full-time RV that I have missed is having, I don't know, a tribe, if you will. There is an RV park in Tucson that I have spent, probably 4 of the 5 winters that I've been RVing. I've spent at least, a month there, sometimes 2 or 3 months. And it's a great, quirky little RV park. It's called Desert Trails, and there's a good community there. And I've gotten to know people. I'm, a definite introvert, and it's difficult for me to meet people and to make friends. It takes a while. But anyway, that RV park is, $1,100 a month or $1,200 a month or something like that. It's too expensive for me to afford right at the moment. So that's why I'm in Quartzsite. And I have found some people that I like, and they like me, which is important. And so I'm hoping I can stick around a while and build some friendships and maybe start coming back year after year. So that's one thing I think that's going to really help my depression. Another thing I'm not an athletic person. I didn't play sports. I did snow ski when I was a kid, but and I've done some sailing. I don't know if how active that is, but that's certainly not something that I do now. But so I've not been very active, and my life tends to be pretty sedentary at the moment. I have had one knee replacement, and my other knee has been giving me a lot of problems in the past, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months. So that's probably on in the future. But one thing that I know that I need to do, not only for my health, but I think it's also would be beneficial for my mental health, and that is to become more active, to do more, and not just walk. I mean, walking is one thing that you can do, and it's it is definitely good for you. You don't need to walk 10,000 steps like a lot of several years ago. That was the thing: walk 10,000 steps a day, a day, and if you're walking 4, 5, 6,000 steps a day, you're doing pretty good. And especially when you're have knee issues or something like that. But the other thing that I think will really help me is to do some strength exercises. So I have found some exercises that I want to start doing. And again, back to the laziness factor. I've had exercises like this, and I've had these exercises before. I just don't do them. So I'm hoping that I can, I'll do a YouTube video about the exercising, and I'll make a commitment to my viewers, and I'll set up a routine where I'm doing, the type of exercises, the frequency per week that you should be doing each type of exercise. Some of the exercises found you doing 3 times a week, some you want to do daily. And so I'll set up systems to do that, and I'll ask you folks to keep me accountable. So I mean, there's nothing from stopping me from starting that right now, but um, yeah, I will definitely get that going. Yay, I promise. So, and I know that exercise is going to help too. So I don't know. I'd love to hear from you if in the comments if you can relate to any of this. If you have any, even if you're not, an RVer, if you're in your retirement and you also suffer from depression, and what are some of the things that you do to help combat that? Tell me about your tribe, your community, what you're doing that I do. So I'm not totally isolated. I do have, family that I talk to occasionally. And I have a friend back in Seattle who was a coworker, a while back, and he and I have stayed in touch. And we talk to each other, FaceTime or whatever, every week or two, maybe longer, but mostly, every week or two. And so that's been good. So anyway, like I said, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me what, your experiences. Yeah, I'd love to hear them. If I respond to comments, so every comment, I read every one. Let me know if there are other topics, that are of a personal nature that you would like to hear about. Yeah. So I think that's it. I'm going to concentrate on the road, get back to quartzsite. I hope that you all be kind, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.